Hello and welcome to What's On This Week. So this is actually going to be covering from the end of the Easter holidays up to the 17th of May, which is when all the indoor stuff opens up. So we're going to be concentrating on the outdoor activities and what's going on that's new and all those exciting classes that are starting back up again. So I'm going to start off with Cavesham Lakes that are actually opening now in Reading. So these have got, it's kind of very commercialised. They've got a bar, they've developed a beach where you can go and you can sit out and book out an area on the beach. They've got paddleboarding and open water swimming there. And then at the end of May, they'll be opening up an aqua park, which is quite exciting. While we're on the subject of lakes, obviously Horseshoe Lake in Sandhurst, they have got their open water swimming and their paddleboarding and their kayaking sessions all up and running, and they've just opened up their new cafe, which is kind of an Italian style. They're doing like paninis and cakes, etc. I might have gone down and had a nice gluten-free carrot cake last week, which was very tasty. And they're open quite late in the evening, so like 6 o'clock-ish, which is quite nice after work, so you can go down to the lake and have a nice drink. Mitchett Lakes are opening for their open water swimming, and I think these are open most days, but it's quite popular. Even last week when we had the snow and frost, people were still jumping in the water. Not going to say they're crazy, I'm sure they've got their wits about them. Scouts and Uniform Groups is back, which is brilliant for the youth because obviously everything's been shut down for so long. So a lot of venues are actually opening slots that Scout and Uniform Groups can book into. So I know Earlywood, they're running a £10 session per Scout, and you can do bouldering and crazy golf. And then Explore Adventure, they're doing a £10 session and you can do an hour on the water and an hour of bushcraft. I chatted to Swinley Bike Club yesterday, and they're looking at starting up a similar price thing in the forest, and that will be again some bike ability stuff and then off for a ride around the forest. So on the theme of biking, then there is the cycle centres in both Frimley and Swinley are open, and these are suitable for families. The one in Frimley, it's £10 per bike, and we went and reviewed it last weekend actually, and it's nice and flat, so it's really good if you've got a young family and you don't really want to go for any hills. You've got the canal, which is lovely and flat. You've got all the parklands and the woodlands, which is flat. If you want a bit more adventure, then you can head on up to the Ash Ranges area. Just remember to make sure you don't go into the areas where the flags are up, and they've got some more hills up that way. And then obviously at Swinley Forest is a bit more adventurous. You've got all the routes and the forest floor. They have got a special bike area that you can go and book onto, which has got the ramps and the jumps and stuff, if you want to be pushed a little bit more. And don't forget, if you have got older children that like going on BMXs and bikes, there's the pump track and the cycle track at Edinburgh Country Park in Fleet, and that's open till quite late in the evening, so that's a really good one for the older kids. So what's new? So there are some new classes starting up, and I'll start with Bubble and Squeak. And this is a toddler cooking class, or it's toddler preschool cooking class, and they run on a Tuesday in Fleet and on a Thursday in North Warnborough. We are going to be trying that this Thursday to see if it's any good. I'm really looking forward to it because it's nice to find a class that isn't music and dance. As lovely as they are, it's nice to try something new. Reading Fairies is Reading Fairies Hazelmere, but it's operating out of the Hogmore enclosure in Bordon, and this is the Phonics class for toddlers and preschoolers. Really good way of getting some sensory and playful phonics into their day, so that when they start school they've already got a basic knowledge of phonics, which is great because obviously loads of people have missed out on education this year. If you're looking for outdoor mums and tots classes, there's Mother's Fire. So these are operated by the Village in Surrey, and these are operating out of Bisley and Woking areas, and it's kind of a session that you book on a term, and you go down there with your children and you do a nice outdoor session, and then you have lunch cooked over the campfire, and they might do some crafts, and it's a really nurturing class. So go and have a look at the list if you want to find out more details of that. Rambles and Brambles has just been taken over by a new owner, who's lovely. She used to be a childminder, well, she still is a childminder, and very outdoorsy. So you do lots of, pond dipping and crafts, and it's not just operating in Farnham anymore. They're going all the way down to Bordon or up to Camberley, all around the Rushmore, Surrey Heath area. So, and it's really, really good value for money. It's £3.50 for your first child, and then siblings and extra children are £2. So it's really good value for money, and that runs on a Thursday. Tree Babies is a brand new class that is starting up, being run by Connection Mama and Babies, and this is going to be in Farnham, and it's £5 a session, and it's for mums with babies in their slings. So it's kind of a baby wearing group where they're all outdoors and doing like nature activities and connection with your baby. And then obviously there's the Mum and Adventure group, which obviously I'm heavily invested in because I run, and that does paddleboarding and kayaking with your tots on a Tuesday and a Friday in Sandhurst. And then I've just started up a mum only cycling, which will be operating out of Swinley and Frimley. Cycle hire, so it will all include all of your bike hire and your bike hats and etc. So it's quite a nice one. So when we talk about the old children quickly, so Vision for Youth has started back up again. So these usually run up youth clubs out of Yateley. So I have been contacting all the previous youth clubs and none have been opening up. However, Vision for Youth are opening up a creative club on a Tuesday for 11 plus years. So this is for secondary school children, and that's running on a Tuesday at 6:30 at the Tythings. And then they're running another session on a Monday, and this is called a Next Steps Cafe, and this is for 16 years plus. And this is for people that might be carers or, you know, have extra weight on their shoulders that they'd like to offload. Then this is a cafe that they can go down to chat to people. And this is operating out of Derby Green, I think it's the St Barnabas Church. So it's quite a good one if you've got children that you need to give them some space. So I'm going to talk about the different activities, and I'm going to start with dance. So Demeric Dance are operating out of Farnham, and they do toddler up to teens and then adult classes too. The adult classes are not starting until the end of May, but for the children at the moment they're doing ballet, tap dances, jazz, modern, acro, street dance, everything you can think of. And they operate out of the Farnham Maltings and also the Farnham Methodist Church. Boogie pumps, these run out of Farnham, Fleet and Alton, not Farnham, Farnham, Fleet and Guildford. And these are ballet, street and tap dance classes. And again, these are for toddlers all the way up to like late age children. And then these are great classes. I've just been looking at all the different types. So they do like ballet and street and acro, contemporary, and they also do drama and TV presenting classes, which I'm really excited about. I wish they did an adult version, but yeah, so you can get your children to go down and do some TV presenting. So these operate out of Farnborough, Alton and in Fleet. And then Stagecoach, so these run in Camberley, and they do two different sessions. They do a session for the 4 to 6 year olds, which is an hour and a half long, and then a session for 6 plus, and they're about 2 hours long. And you can go down and do trial sessions for a cheaper price if you want to go and try it. There is also Tappy Toes, which is a new dance class that I've heard about, and they are operating out of Farnborough, Fleet and Church Crookham, and these are for like toddlers up to preschoolers. And yeah, 18 months to kind of 5 years. And yeah, these are kind of dance classes that are kind of very energetic to kind of get them moving, which is great. And then for adults, obviously, Demeric Dance are not starting back up until the end of May, but Yem have got both ballet and mixed dance classes online. And then there's the Zumba Fitness with Shimmy Shake on a Saturday morning at 9:30 in the morning. That's just £2.50, so that's a really good one if you don't fancy leaving your house. So we'll move on to music classes. So Vivace Music School used to be Lentile Music School, and they do the Kodali approach. So they do the babies and toddlers and preschoolers, and my children went to school learning having already learned how to read music, so it's a really good educational class. And then they do all the way up to teens, and you can get the different qualifications moving up if you want to your child to become a professional music player. Music and Mess is back for the babies, and this runs out of Derby Green. And these are like messy play and music and just fun activities. Heartbeeps operating out of Farnborough, Sandhurst and Frogmore for babies, toddlers and preschoolers. Little Bears Music are in Woking and Guildford. So Woking on a Monday, Guildford on a Wednesday. Busy Lizzie's obviously doing their baby music in Fleet. And then there's Baby and Toddler Sense in Fleet, Farnborough and Camberley. So sport, so there's Play Ball, which is operating out of Lightwater on a Monday, Tuesday and Wednesday. And these are not just football classes, this is ball skills. So it's tennis, football, rugby, all about kicking, catching and throwing. So it's quite a good educational class. And these are from toddlers up to kind of 8-year-olds. Then they operate out of Lightwater and Sandhurst. In the Sandhurst ones, it's either in the Memorial Park, and they also do some classes in Jake's soft play area, but it's obviously outdoors. And they're Park to Pro. So on a Monday and a Friday, these runs for 6 years plus out of Sunningdale. And then on a Tuesday, they do a preschool class at 11. And this is for like 2 to 4 year old. Sport for Kids, they are operating on a Saturday out of Farnham and Basingstoke, and then on a Sunday out of Alton and Basingstoke, and this is football and rugby classes. And then there's a free one starting up in Aldershot called Mini Kickers, and so they're free in April and May to give you a trial to see if you like it, and this is for 4 to 6 years on a Saturday morning out of Aldershot. And then obviously there's the free junior park run, which we have tried for the last couple of weeks. Actually, we've been going for years, but it's been only just been opening up back up again. At the moment, it's for 4 years up to 10 years. And obviously older siblings can run around, they just won't get their time at the end. And it's just 2-kilometre track around on a 9 o'clock on a Sunday morning from Aldershot in the parade ground. Then obviously for antenatal classes, Busy Lizzie have got their antenatal classes. Then there's the Mum's Village are doing a range of different antenatal classes depending on your budget and how much you want to cover. And then Precious Bumps are doing their hypnobirthing classes, and these are online. So you can have a look in the lists and search for antenatal and it will all pop up. And then for attractions, so obviously I've mentioned a lot of the lakes that are open and the outdoor spaces. National Trust are open. So obviously we've got some beautiful National Trust places around here. We've got the Wickworth Arboretum down in Guildford Way, and then we've got the Vine up in Basingstoke and all the little places in between, including the Runnymede grounds, which is beautiful for a nice walk and a bit of an educational tour thrown in as well. Wellesley is open in Aldershot, and this is a nice flat walk if you've got a young family, and obviously you can do the geocaching in all of these different places. Yateley Common is it's absolutely massive, and there's different areas. There's areas with the lakes, there's areas with just forest and heathland, and then at Castle Bottom we've got the wild ponies. So if you want to go and find the wild ponies, it's like a little treasure hunt. Just make sure you keep your space, give them lots of space because they are wild animals, so you don't want to go too close or interfere with them. And then from the end of May, so keep an eye out for this, there's the runabout in Farnborough. So obviously they've got all their old indoor activities, which is the soft play and then ignition car racing, and they've got their laser tag and their junior escape room, but they're actually opening up an outdoor activity, which is crazy golf, which is quite exciting. So they've got a nice outdoor space that hasn't really been utilised, so it's a great time to utilise that outdoor space. Obviously, if you find anything that I don't talk about and you'd like to add it in, just drop me a message, especially if you've got any community events or free charity events. I will get them in as soon as I can, and always happy to add more activities to the sessions. And I look forward to telling you more when more stuff opens up next week. Bye bye.